Once you are finished with your restoration work, I'd like you to add color to the restored photograph to give it a hand-tinted look. Again, there are multiple methods for doing this out there. This is just one of them. If your image has an overall hue like sepia tone, you'll want to decrease the saturation of the image overall so that your colors are brighter. Create an adjustment layer for hue saturation and decrease the saturation completely. Next, we need a new empty layer to do our painting on that is above the background layer and the saturation layer adjustment we just made. Click on the new layer icon in the layer palette and give this layer the title Skin so you can tell it apart later on, and change the layer blending mode to color. This is important because the color mode will let you add color to the image without affecting the lightness values of the image. Next, choose the regular paintbrush tool and then select the color for the men's faces. Double-click on the color palette and choose something you think is realistic. You can set the size of the brush by using your keyboard left and right brackets as you work, and set the brush hardness to low. If you have forgotten to set the layer blending mode to color, it will look something like this. Or even if you have set it correctly, the colors may seem way too bright. Fix this by clicking on the layer and decreasing the opacity of the layer until it seems right to you. Remember, the real world around us is full of lots of color variation, so keep that in mind as you work and choose new colors often. Try not to color outside the lines of the area. The men's hair, for example, will require a small brush and careful painting. You can always use the eraser tool to remove extra painted pixels if you need to. This is one of the reasons we are working on separate layers so we don't affect the original image. When you are ready to paint the trees, create a new layer and name it Trees. Set the blending mode to color. For each general area, create a new layer. This will let you carefully erase without worry. Just make sure that the layer you want to work on is highlighted in the layer palette. One tip for finding the same color that you used before is to use the eyedropper tool. You can select it from the tool menu, or you can simply use the eye on your keyboard. Click to sample the area with the color that you want to use, and then switch back to your paintbrush by clicking on the B on your keyboard. You'll want to make sure that the eyedropper tool options are set to point sample the current layer. Try this shortcut because it's a huge time saver.